So a teacher that I can think of that had a big impact on me growing up was probably my tap teacher who I had throughout high school. I had her 4 years in a row, every single class, because she did the teacher program.
Yeah.
So of course I loved her. That's the one and you know, that's who I think about. We're friends on Facebook now. We keep up and it's so fun for her to get to see my accomplishments that she kind of planted within me. Yeah.
Shout out to Dr. Aker. He was my 7th grade teacher, and at that time he taught social studies, and I'll never forget we wrote this, we had to talk about the Trail of Tears, right? And I had a very vivid imagination. I love to write, and I still do. And we had to write a story. But he left out the part where we had to present the story. I've never been much of a talker, so that was a challenge. But the way he made me feel about the story, he was like, "Oh, he just said like it's just the greatest thing," and you know, it just always had an impact. For one, I went to college and majored in English. I honed my writing. Later on, I remember this was in middle school, so I got a reward for my writing out of the entire grade level. It was just that little inkling, and I don't even think he probably wouldn't remember it, but it gave me that affirmation and courage to continue writing and continue growing that confidence, and also being able to talk about my work.
I want to shout out to Miss Teresa Willoughby. Miss Willoughby was Putnam County High School's Teacher of the Year before, but she is my cousin, more like an aunt to me. And she was my cheerleading coach when I was in high school. She was one of my math teachers. When I started teaching here at this school when we came, I was also her inclusion teacher. She taught me just the things to do and the things not to do, when to say and when not to say, how to interact with parents. She was the biggest inspiration for me, and I often thank her for that.
Mine was my high school musical theater director, Miss Jenny Morris. She really just instilled in me this drive to get the best out of a student and to not let them settle for anything less. Whenever I'm directing along with the people at the middle school, they're like, "You're pushing them hard for middle schoolers." I'm like, because I know what they're capable of. She really just instilled that drive in me. And I'm still able to work with her professionally through like various theater events. And so it's cool to have been with her as a student and now work with her as a peer and a colleague in some aspect. The biggest piece of advice I could give to a new teacher is stick it out. It's not going to be easy. You know, most people don't get into this profession because it's easy. It's because it's necessary. Just stick it out. You will reap the rewards of it. It may take a little time, but you will reap the rewards from it.
You know, just know it's okay.
Right.
You make mistakes. I'll have a perfect lesson plan next week.
Yeah.
We'll do it again. I tell the kids all the time, be like, you know what, boys and girls, we'll do that later. And now they say it, they go, later, you know, because it's always a next time. And it's okay. It's okay. You can pat yourself on the back and, you know, just celebrate the wins. I have a little box of wins in my file cabinet. I know it's cliche, but remember the why.
My advice would be to find a good mentor teacher. Shout out to Miss Austin, Stephanie Austin, and Patricia Hurt. They got me through, and I just remember my first year thinking to myself, I want to be them when I grow up. Like that's the type of teacher I want to be. So finding your person and having that good influence that you're able to look at every day. And even now, 6 years in, I still look at them. I'm like, I'm going to get there one day. I'm going to be just like them. Like,
when you're coming in as a new teacher, you have to realize that these kids will know more than you because they can get on the Book of Face and they can scroll and they know how to do the AI stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know what AI was. Just know they are going to be smarter than you. And they're going to know how to get around things. And you've just got to be kind of a step ahead, you
Yeah.
know, and try to learn. You always be a learner. Like if there are workshops you can attend those workshops. If
Yeah.
it's trainings that you can go to, you know, go to the trainings, because they're going to know more than you. If you are able to learn more so that you can get ahead, make yourself needed, and you'll feel better because you know more
Yeah.
and you have more to offer to the class.